Good morning, everybody. This is the fourth part, that is, the last part of explanation of Act 3, Scene 2. So far, we studied that Bassanio had made the right choice of casket and won Portia, and at the same time, Gratiano wishes to marry Nerissa. So now let's begin with last part of the text. Enter Lorenzo, Jessica, and Salerio. So besides Bassanio, Gratiano, Portia, and Nerissa, we have these three more characters in the scene. Bassanio. Lorenzo and Salerio, welcome hither. If that the youth of my new interest here have the power to bid you welcome, Lorenzo, Salerio, come here. And if the newly acquired right of mine has the power to welcome you here, by your leave I bid my very friends and countrymen, sweet Portia, welcome. By your permission, sweet Portia, I welcome my friends and countrymen. Portia. So do I, my lord, they are entirely welcome. So I too welcome them, my lord. They are completely welcome to this place. Lorenzo. I thank your honor. For my part, my lord, my purpose was not to have you seen here. I thank you, your honor, for welcoming me, but as far as I am concerned, I did not intend to come and see you here. But meeting with Salerio by the way, he did entreat me past all saying nay, to come with him along. But when I met Salerio on the way, he requested me to come with him along to see you here, and not taking any of my refusal, not accepting any of my refusal. Salerio. I did, my lord. I accept I did that, my lord, and I have reason for it. Senor Antonio commends him to you, and I have reason for doing so. Mr. Antonio, he sends his greeting to you. Gives Bassanio a letter. While saying this, he hands a letter to Bassanio. Bassanio, ere I ope this letter, I pray you tell me how my good friend doth. Before I open this letter, I request you to tell me how my good friend is Antonio, how my good friend Antonio is. Salerio, not sick, my lord, unless it be in mind. He is not sick, my lord, unless his mind is affected by the sickness, nor well unless in mind. And you cannot even say that he is well unless his mind is good. His letter there will show you his estate. The word estate is a pun again, P-U-N pun, which means condition and financial fortune. Here the letter that Salerio gives to Bassanio, he says that the letter will show Antonio's present condition, that is his mental and physical condition, as well as his financial status. Gratiano. Nerissa, cheer yon stranger, bid her welcome. Nerissa, be courteous to this strange lady. The strange lady is Jessica here. Johann Salerio, what's the news from Venice? He shakes hand with Salerio and inquires about the happenings in Venice. How doth that royal merchant good Antonio? How is good Antonio, the royal merchant? I know he will be glad of our success. We are the Jasons. We have won the fleece. Jason is a leader of the Argonauts who retrieved the golden fleece from King Aetus of Colchis for his uncle Peleus. And fleece means the wool, the hair of the ship. I know Antonio will be happy of our success, and we are the Jasons. He compares himself and Bassanio to Jason. We have won the fleece as Jason has won the fleece. Salerio. I would you had won the fleece that he hath lost. I wish you have that fleece which Antonio has lost. Here the fleece refers to Antonio's wealth, Antonio's gold that Antonio has lost in the sea. Portia notices the change in expression on Bassanio's face while he reads the letter and therefore says, "There are some shrewd contents in yon same letter, yon same paper, that steals the color from Bassanio's cheek. There are some unpleasant thing written in the same letter that steals, that takes away the color from Bassanio's face. Some dear friend dead, else nothing in the world could turn so much the constitution of any constant man. It must be the news of some friend dead, or else nothing in the world can turn the complexion to such an extent of a normal man. What worse and worse, and the expression is growing from worse to worse. With leave, Bassanio, with your permission, Bassanio, I would like to know. I am half yourself, and I must freely have the half of anything that the same paper brings you. I am half of yourself, and I must have the half of anything that this paper, the letter, has brought to you." Bassanio. O sweet Portia, here are few of the unpleasantest words that ever blotted paper. Sweet Portia, this letter contains the most unpleasant word that can ever spoil a paper. Gentle lady, when I did first impart my love to you, I freely told you all the wealth I had ran in my veins. Gentle lady, when I first confessed my love to you, I freely told you that all the wealth that I possess is my noble blood, and I have nothing besides that. I was a gentleman, and then I told you truly. I was a gentleman, and therefore I spoke truly then. And yet, dear lady, rating myself at nothing, you shall see how much I was a braggart. And yet, dear lady, when I estimated my wealth at nothing, you will find that even then I was exaggerating. When I told you my state was nothing, I should have then told you that I was worse than nothing. When I told you that I have nothing, at that point I should have also told you that I had even less than nothing. For indeed I have engaged myself to a dear friend, engaged my friend to his mere enemy to feed my means, because I have borrowed from my dear friend, and I have made my friend bound himself to his enemy to get the money that I needed to come here. Here Bassanio, as I have explained in my earlier videos, that he is a spendthrift. He spends a lot, he borrows from people and spends the money, and mostly he borrows from Antonio. So therefore he says that when he say that he has even less than nothing. Here is the letter, lady, the paper as the body of my friend, and every word in it a gaping wound, issuing lifeblood. Here is the letter, lady, and this letter can be compared to the body of my friend Antonio, and every word in it is like an open wound from which blood is streaming out. So far he was talking to Portia. Now he turns to Salerio and talks to him. But is it true, Salerio? Hath all his venture failed? But news true, Salerio? Has all his business ventures failed? What not one hit? Was not one even a success? From Tripolis, from Mexico and England, from Lisbon, Barbary and India, not one ship returned safe. From Tripolis, Mexico, England, Lisbon, Barbary or India. Not one vessel escaped the dreadful touch of the merchant marine rock, and not did even one of his ships escaped the fearful touch of the rocks which ruined the merchants? Valerio, not one, my lord. Not even a single ship returned safe, my lord. Besides, it should appear that if he had the present money to discharge the Jew, he would not take it. And besides, it is also true that even if Antonio had the money available with him to pay Shylock, he is not ready to accept it. Never did I know the creature that did bear the shape of a man, so keen and greedy to confound a man. I never knew a creature which is in a shape of man, so keen, so interested, and so greedy to destroy a man. He plies the Duke at morning and at night, and doth impeach the freedom of the state if they deny him justice. He urges the case on the Duke the whole day, that is morning and night, and he questions the integrity of the law of Venice in case justice is denied to him. 20 merchants, the Duke himself, and the Magnificos of greater sport have all persuaded him. 20 merchants, the Duke, the noblemen, people of highest standing have all tried to make him understand. But none can drive him from the envious plea of forfeiture of justice and his blood. But none can move him from his revengeful claim of forfeiture of the bond, of justice, of his fulfillment of justice. Here the forfeiture is the fine that Antonio was supposed to pay if he was unable to return the money within a period of 3 months, and that is a pound of flesh from Antonio's body. Jessica, when I was with him, I have heard him swear to Tubal and to Chas, his countrymen, that he would rather have Antonio's flesh than 20 times the value of the sum that he did owe to him. Value of the sum is 3,000 ducats. When I was with Shylock, I have heard him promise to Tubal and Chas, who belongs to his country, his Jew friend, that he would prefer to have Antonio's flesh than 20 times of 3,000 ducats that he had lent him. And I know, my lord, if law, authority, and power deny not, it will go hard with poor Antonio. And I am sure, my lord, if law, justice, does not deny him from taking this forfeit, it will be a very bad case for anyone. Jessica is a Jew, Shylock's daughter, but dislikes Shylock for certain reasons. Portia, is it your dear friend that is thus in trouble? Is it your best friend who is in trouble? Bassanio, the dearest friend to me, the kindest man, the best conditioned and unwearied spirit in doing courtesy. Antonio is the dearest friend of mine. He is the kindest man on earth, the most good-natured and untiring spirit in showing kindness to others, and one in whom the ancient Roman honor more appears than any that draws breath in Italy. And he is the one in whom loyalty to friends and countrymen appears more than any man who lives in Venice. Portia, what sum owes he the Jew? How much money does he owe the Jew, Shylock? Bassanio, for me, 3,000 ducats. He owes 3,000 ducats because of me. Portia, what, no more? Is this the only amount? Pay him 6,000, pay him double the amount, and deface the bond, and cancel the bond. Double 6,000, and then triple that, before a friend of this description shall lose a hair through Bassanio's fault. Double the 6,000, and you can even triple that amount, before a friend like Antonio shall even lose a hair because of Bassanio's mistake. First go with me to church and call me wife, and then away to Venice to your friend. First, come with me to church and marry me, and then immediately be gone to Venice to Antonio. For never shall you lie by Portia's side with an unquiet soul, because you shall never lie beside Portia with a distracted mind. You shall have gold to pay the petty debts 20 times over. When it is paid, bring your true friend along, and you will be furnished with gold to pay the debt even 20 times more. And when you have paid and settled it down, bring your true friend Antonio with you. My maid Nerissa and myself meantime will live as maid and widows. And in the meantime, Nerissa and I will wait for you as maid and widows. Come away, for you shall hence upon our wedding day bid your friends welcome, show a merry cheer. Come away, let's go, because you must go away from here on the wedding day itself. Welcome your friends and show them a cheerful face. Since you are dear bought, I will love you dearly. And since your friend has paid for you so dearly, I will love you dearly. But let me hear the letter of your friend. But let me listen to what is written in the letter. Here Portia, she asked Bassanio to marry her and then leave immediately for Venice to save Antonio, and at the same time furnishes Bassanio with all the gold that he needs to save Antonio. Bassanio reads the letter. Sweet Bassanio, my ships have all miscarried. My creditors grow cruel, my state is low, my bond to the Jew is forfeit. Sweet Bassanio, my ships have all wrecked, my creditors have gone against me. My present means, my money is very low, and my bond that I have entered into with the Jew is forfeited. That is, I was unable to pay the amount on time. And since in paying it, it is impossible I should live, and since in paying the forfeiture, it is impossible that I will live. All debts are cleared between you and I, and all the debts that was between you and I are cancelled. If I might but see you at my death, if I could see you as I die, notwithstanding use your pleasure, but you do as it pleases you. If your love do not persuade you to come, let not my letter. If your love for me doesn't persuade you to come and see me, then do not pay attention to my letter. Portia. O love, dispatch all business and be gone. O Bassanio, finish all your work and be gone immediately. Bassanio. Since I have your good leave to go away, I will make haste. So since I have your permission to go, I will hurry up. But till I come again, no bed shall ever be guilty of my stay, nor rest be interposer twixt us twain. And till I return, no bed shall be guilty of my rest. That is, I will not even let rest come between us two. Exeunt. Everybody leaves the stage. So with this, I end with the explanation of Act 3, Scene 2. Thank you.